Ever since I was a little kid, I have had nightmares. And as a child, I didn't know why it started or what the purpose of it all was, but all I could tell you was it was absolutely terrifying. The first one I could remember was a little boy on fire running towards me. I had a bucket of water in my hand, but when I tried to use it, the water wouldn't come out. No matter how hard I tried to dump that bucket of water on him, the water was frozen in the bucket. Then later in my teenage years, I remember we were all having senior skip day. That night, we had a bonfire at the lake. The plan was for everybody to camp out, drink, and have fun. While I fall asleep in the backseat of my girlfriend's car from drinking too much, and have a nightmare that a teenage boy is walking across the lake, his body on fire, skin peeling off. He walks up to the car, touches it, and then the car bursts into flames, trapping me inside. Every time I tried to open the door, he would appear outside holding it shut, pushing the door closed. Understand, these were vivid nightmares. I would wake up smelling smoke. But it wasn't until I was 21 and in college that I realized that it was more than just a dream. I'm in my dorm room. My roommate has gone home for the weekend, and I fall asleep. The dream starts, and I could smell his flesh burning before I could see him. Next thing you know, he's walking through my dorm room door, jumps on my bed, hugging me, holding my body as I burst into flames. I wake up screaming at the top of my lungs, only to discover that the cover is warm. And what I mean by warm, you know how when you put your comforter in the dryer and you first take it out, how warm it is? That's exactly what it felt like. Fucking freaked me completely out. At that time, our school offered free counseling, a part of the anti-bullying deal they had going on. So I go see a counselor, and she explains to me that nightmares sometimes come from suppressed memories. She advised me to talk to my parents about anything that could have happened in my childhood that I couldn't remember. She wanted to know if there was any basis for these dreams. Well, the next time I travel home, I'm talking to my dad, and I explain to him what's going on about the dreams, and this look comes over his face, mouth dropped wide open. Dad tells me that when I was 4 years old, the family took a road trip. He fell asleep behind the wheel, swerved into the next lane, cutting off a station wagon. The family inside of that station wagon went off the road, crashed into a tree, and the car burst into flames. He was able to use a crowbar to get one of the back doors open and get them out, but the flames had already burned their 7-year-old son. The kid was taken to the hospital, where he later died. With tears in his eyes, my dad told me that ever since that day, he had been having the same type of nightmares. And he believed that it was his guilt that brought on the spirit of this boy to haunt him and to haunt me. My father goes on to explain to me that it took a long time for him to forgive himself and make peace with it, and that it was actually our church pastor that explained to him how to stop it. You see, he told me the next time I have that dream, just say to the boy that I'm sorry for what happened to you. I was just a child. I had absolutely nothing to do with it. Sure enough, days later, I'm at my parents' house. I go to bed early, and I dream about him standing right next to my bed, body on fire, hands and arms reaching out for me. And I say, I'm sorry, bro, for what happened to you. I really am. But I was a kid. I didn't know. I didn't have anything to do with it. And as the word no is coming out of my mouth, his body morphs back into a child's body, and he smiles at me, then turns and walks away. Now listen to me, I wish I could say that I completely understood what was happening, but I didn't. And to this day, I don't. I've done a lot of research on vengeful spirits, and in various cultures, they come and they kill you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. But in other cultures, you can make amends with these spirits, so they themselves can move on. Listen to me, I can't say for certain that me apologizing is what made this spirit move on, or if the spirit has moved on at all. But I can tell you a couple of things. I haven't had those bad dreams since that night, and the only thing I regret is that my father didn't explain all of this to me earlier, so I wouldn't have been tortured for years in my sleep.